We have a wild game here for you in store today. In store for you here today. All right. I open with my usual stuff. My opponent seems to respond in kind with book responses. This is a very common configuration with an idea of sacrificing a bishop to open up. I move over to protect against that. I do the f2, f4 pawn thrust. Takes. Interesting move here, and here's where I challenge the knight. And a common move is to take the pawn on f4, and it leads to interesting dynamic exchanges, and this game provides a whole bunch of that. So you can see that things are happening on the king side. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have about an equality in material. I think black's a little bit better here, despite the computer evaluation, slightly. Especially since castling queen side. So we have some exchanges. Still relatively peaceful game, but now with that move, things get shaken up a little bit. So I'm forced to defend, and I think I'm a little bit opened up. So I have to survive a little bit of stuff. So here, I definitely think that black is winning, but at least I'm holding on. So now with that move, I'm actually pinning the bishop, so that leads to some interesting stuff. And if I can get some counterplay in the center, I'll be okay. So of course, my opponent's trying to emphasize the kingside attack and with some checks, and I better run to the other side. So this check originally scared me, but I have the knight to protect with a pawn covering. And now he's going to double up, so it's time to get the king out of there. So he does double up, and thankfully I'm protected by the pawn on d3, or I would be it would be game over. So here I go for this check with the idea that cannot take my queen because he's in check. So I can't take the rook because my queen would be hanging. So here I try to do a forcing line, takes back, come back. And now, interestingly, the pawn is pawn on g3 is becoming very dangerous. So we have to throw some checks at him, at my opponent. So he does the same thing in kind, and now he throws the pawn out there. And I say to myself, all I can really do is counterplay, and I'll at least have a check, even if he promotes his new queen won't really be in a position to hurt me for at least 1 or 2 moves. So he does this check to buy some time, but I get out of the way. So now he's got 2 queens, but I have this check. He moves, I check again, and the idea is to keep checking him to either get checkmate or drop his clock, which is close. So this is a mate in 2 position. Moves over, check. He's got 1 second, and there's another check, and this is where it ended. It says it's mate in 4, but ultimately I think he's got some problems here. I think even if he had 10 seconds, I would still win this game. So that is all she wrote. Very good. We do appreciate your business.